All right, step 4 is how much is this going to cost you? What does it cost to buy and investigate a house out of pocket, outside of the loan?
So something separate from the financing piece and what we do on the lending side is the inspection for your protection. This is an out-of-pocket cost. There's a range of prices for this. I mean, what are a couple just basic inspections that a buyer can expect?
So typically we write in an inspection for the home, a home inspection, which is going to look at all the places, crawl space, attic. Those are typically about $400 to $450. It really depends on the size of the house. Sewer inspection is another one that is a big one. We want to make sure there's no root balls in the middle of your lines. And those are about $200, $250, depending on how you enter that. Well inspections out in Pierce County, we've still got some wells. Waterfront might have some other inspections on top of it. But those are all things that you're doing as a buyer to make sure that it's a small outlay of money at the end of the day to protect yourself, to know what you're buying.
For an example, replacing a sewer line could be a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 fix, and spending a couple $100,
$200 to make sure that it's all working.
Pretty much worth it.
Yeah. So
and then we move in from the upfront cost of for your protection is the closing cost as a part of the transaction as a whole. These are not all lender or loan related. There are a lot of fees that just are a part of purchasing a home. So the first one I'll touch on is the admin or origination charge from the lender. This is a lender charge to do the loan in some shape or form. You may have heard the term points, etc. That is related to the interest rate. Your lender can go over that with you. Then we move into appraisal. Now, appraisals are all over the board. Could cost you $500, could cost you over $1,000.
Appraisal is the value of your house. Somebody coming in and making sure that the house is at the purchase price that you're making the offer at. Protect the lender and protect you.
It's showing and communicating to the lender that the home is worth what you're purchasing it for, and then it also is validating that the home is in good condition too for the lender. So if there's any repairs, depending on what type of financing you're using, if there's any repairs required, that's where the appraisal goes back to your real estate agent, and they negotiate on your behalf to get those things taken care of.
Absolutely.
Then there's the third party
escrow and title.
Yep.
Not part of the lending process.
Thank you.
That's over here.
Yeah.
And those are directed typically by the seller. So they direct who is going to be their title and escrow company during the process.
And there's a major fee. The closing fee is split between you and the seller.
Yep.
There's a title charge, a recording charge to finalize it with the county, etc. We can go over this later if you have questions, but they have their own charges too. And then the third piece of this is what we call prepaids. These are taxes, insurance, and interest due for the month. I don't want to overload you with all these line items, but I do want to just illustrate that there are a few different buckets for where the closing costs come from, and depending on who you are and where you're purchasing a home, these are going to vary. So just contact your lender, give us a shout if you want to dive into that deeper.
And if you want to know who pays me or your realtor, that would be the seller. So that's one that you're not going to get hit with. You just need to buy the house.
Yeah, that's not part of your closing costs.
Exactly.
So that's what this is going to cost you guys. If you have any questions further, just give us a shout.
Yep.